For the past centuries, you have always been critiquing or contradicting other philosophies or philosophers. Now I want to do something different. In today's society and the modern world, we should not change or contradict other ideas, but rather we need to amplify or improve and take them a step further. Within the modern society, you have to think of correlation, holism, agreements, combinations of thoughts and ideas. A lot of philosophical notions were introduced back in the day. As time goes, so goes the rest of the world. We change and move on. To ignite again those lost flames, we relive those notions. And in actuality, your views, beliefs, and ideas are one of them. This is On Writings, and I'm here to tell you how the world gave in to philosophical ideas. In idealism or ideology, have you ever encountered or heard the word conservatism and progressivism? These are ideas, views, or beliefs that we follow or want. These ideas are famous for political stance and reflects us as the persons that we are. We will focus only on these two, since they may have counterparts in philosophy. Let us first digest. Conservatism is a cultural, social, and political philosophy that seeks to promote and preserve traditional customs and values. Progressivism is a left-leaning political philosophy and reform movement that seeks to advance the human condition through social reform. In theory, they might have been influenced by these two, rationalism and existentialism. Rationalism for conservatism and existentialism for progressivism. It's just like saying rationalism is to conservatism and existentialism is to progressivism. Now, the proponents for rationalism, we have Immanuel Kant. And for existentialism, we have Friedrich Nietzsche. The influence and clashing of such philosophers shaped our own viewpoints in the modern world. But majority of us, we become in favor of existentialism because it emphasizes individual existence, freedom, and choice. This is the view that humans define their own meaning in life. Rationalism, on the other hand, appeals to intellectual and deductive reason as the source of knowledge or justification. On today's environment, majority rely on their sensory implications. We now forget our traditional values, us being rationalistic. We try to govern and legalize such laws based on the experiences of others, and that is what makes us existentialists. It's funny because Kant and Nietzsche goes way back. Nietzsche hated Kant. Ironically, rationalism, existentialism, conservatism, and progressivism have different meanings, right? Then here goes Kant and Nietzsche, who are also in contrast. Friedrich Nietzsche didn't exactly hate Immanuel Kant in a personal sense, but he strongly disagreed with Kant's philosophy because it represented to Nietzsche everything he wanted to overcome in Western thought. So it's really like a clashing of two different sides and two different ideas. The question is, why are we influenced? Let me first introduce you to perennial philosophy. Perennialism is a belief that focuses that education should be the ideas that have lasted over centuries. Perennialists believe that ideas are relevant and meaningful today as when they are written. In a world driven by relativism and subjectivism, they coin with existentialists. People are well divided. The information that they get are unified, but how they internalize those information are just mere points to their scattered minds. Picture this. With the recent elections in the Philippines and the conclave for electing a new pope, each and every one of us voters, and even the cardinals, had their own preferences, had their own support, ideas, and votes. Student leaders from my school are in favor of a progressive pope rather than a traditional one. Filipinos still root for politicians who are not that qualified to sit in the position. And yes, the world is evolving, but we shouldn't forget to include and apply traditional values as well. Here I propose to you my philosophy. Wait, here's someone calling. Here I propose to you my philosophy. I call it Synthrosophy. The epistemology is just a combination of two words, synthesis plus Sophia, which means wisdom. Instead of neglecting both ideas, why not put them together? Incorporate each one so that we can apply both. Complementary becomes the answer to debates. In the 1960s, the French philosopher Jacques Derrida formulated a form of philosophical and literary analysis which he called deconstruction. It questions the fundamental conceptual distinctions or oppositions in Western philosophy through a close examination of the language and logic of philosophical and literary texts. Perhaps today's generation became the cornerstone of the booming of these ideas. For we students were recommended to learn from reading and analyzing the works by of history's finest thinkers and writers. Therefore, rationalism and existentialism are as evident as of today. It is still used, still considered, still referenced, and still applied in or to our everyday lives. For philosophical text or writings, I propose my own concept. It's the concept of Synthrosophy. I will make this my manifesto, my theory, my research for the new generation. So I hope you support that. If ever I get the opportunity to publish my work. Now, I want to mention for our example given our new Pope, Pope Leo XIV, also known before as Cardinal Robert Prevost. He is a centrist, progressive on such social issues, but conservative on church doctrine. Let us acknowledge him as an example that we can sometimes be on sides with two different oppositions or two different ideas. Because for decades, conservatism and progressivism has had a huge part on the political world. So we get to choose which side are we on, but sometimes we need to put two oppositions, two things, so that we can achieve a higher goal and knowledge. And I hope my Synthrosophy will let you realize and will help you that sometimes we have to pick both. We have to have both. Because if we choose for the other, how about the other people? We have to be sometimes in the middle, in the center, as him as a pope who has a lot of responsibilities, a lot of influence. It is important to take two sides, to take into account two sides of one coin, which is that of being progressive and also conservative in different aspects. And that is what I mean by Synthrosophy, because two different ideas can become one, can be unified, so that it can have another meaning, another purpose, another objective. And yeah, that's it.